Friends, today we are going to discuss a very different and unconventional subject, that is dance and technology. Dance technology research is a bold new branch, a hybrid field that joins the art and the sciences and is likely to throw up exciting new ways for dance to go forward in new age. The National Dance Association of US was extremely visionary in their support of this new branch of research in dance, and the association held two symposia on dance technology, one each in 1984 and 1986, in which dancers and technologists from United States, Canada and Australia shared the results of their efforts in diverse areas as image digitizing, robo choreography, movement analysis, database for dance, computerized dance notions and computerized light boards to be used in dance performance. In traditional dance, it is difficult to believe that dance and technology can ever go together. Dance is the most ethereal art forms, and computer technology perhaps the most concrete of sciences. While technologies deal with the logical, the scientifically verifiable, dancers as artists deal with the illogical, that is inspiration and finding truth in which cannot be spoken. Dancers are not generally comfortable with technology, though unlike in the 1980s and 90s, almost all dancers are much more at ease with digital technology in 2015. But still, the research and rapid innovations in technology appears remote, even contrary to the dancers' quest to create art, an activity often shrouded in mystic. In the early days, that is the 80s and 90s, computers were often taught only as number of crunchers or word processors, or so choreographers were often reluctant to interact with some impersonal objects in as personal an endeavors as choreography. Choreography is held sacred by many as personal statement made by an artist to communicate to an audience. The question therefore was, what role could technology, especially computers, possibly have to play in such an individualistic and intensively private exercise? Just as dancers found it difficult to work with technology, technologists also found it tough to become conversant with the language of dancers that, as it is, communicated with much difficulty through the language of words. The early pioneers, both from the field of dance and digital technology, who nevertheless accepted this challenge, have worked hard to bridge the gap between art and science, dance and computers, to find mutual support and interest. Their work has been produced in a book, Dance Technology, Current Application and Future Trends, edited by Judith Gray. Each of them came to their research from different points of view as dance performers, teachers, choreographers and computer scientists to find new applications for computer technology. Better ways to analyze movement and dance technique, to create and record their choreography and theories of dance technique. One can get the idea about the extent and broad-based framework of the work that they did in the field of dance and technology by going through the chapter heads in this book. How did dance technology evolve? Judith Gray writes, of all the arts, dance would seem the least likely to accede to the vagaries of rapid change and the relentless advances of this modern technology. Dance, the art of human movement, on the surface appears non-technologically inclined. It is a self-sufficient art. Indeed, dance education pioneer Margaret H. Dobler believed that dancers were their own teachers, students, textbooks and laboratories. Despite her claims, on university campuses and dance studios both here and abroad, a small group of dance researchers choreographers, and educators had astounded the dance field by demonstrating their proficiency and creativity with computer technology. According to Gray, who is also a part of this group, the group representing the cutting edge of dance research is steadily growing, convening and corresponding, and subsequently form themselves into a new and daring branch of dance discipline, dance technology, that predominantly employ computers, robots, and electronics. The very first effort to work out a possible collaboration between computers and dance occurred in the 1960s at the University of Pittsburgh. It was under the leadership of John Beeman that the choreography process was first codified and manipulated using the computer and comparatively remarkable memory capacity. Unfortunately, though, the results of the experiment were not published or performed, or so this idea is not available for historical record. However, sometimes in 1970s, a few dance researchers put together a methodology to computerize Laba notation, the symbolic scoring system for coding and recording dances. Then David Seeley, Iowa University, streamlined these efforts further to produce a series of computer programs for Laba notations, which were able to edit, format, analyze, scan, and manipulate dance scores that had been entered into his system by means of a unique IBM electric keyboard containing only Laban symbols. Once this breakthrough was achieved, it was not long before dances could be reproduced symbolically on a monitor along with synthesized sound effects. Dance technology research was making headways in other countries as well. At the University of Sydney, Australia, and the University of Waterloo, Canada, dance researchers computerized the Benesh dance notation system. As recording system became more efficient and sophisticated, the logical consequence for dance was to experiment with the actual body and transpose its movement and position symbols into human body models that could move. Under the Laba notation symbol system, the two-dimensional stick figures were used for computers as well. Lean Weber and S.W. Smolier, Simon Fraser University, then produced an ellipsoid body model for dance, which they named Sausage Man. However, though the model was three-dimensional, its movement range was quite limited. In the meanwhile, at the Royal College of Art in London, Colin Emmett had developed another kind of body model, the Bubble Man, that was made up of spheres that was model animated and able to cast shadows. This ability to cast shadows was immensely innovative, as it allowed choreographers for the first time to program realistic joint movements and body elevations that were visually appropriate. A truly significant breakthrough occurred in 1983 when Rebecca Allen, New York Institute of Technology, designed a computerized dance for Twyla Thorpe's video choreography titled Catherine Wheel. Experiments at the Simon Fraser University resulted in motion articulated humanoid figures that choreographers could use with much more ease. Research at this university also offered lively computer graphics depicting several body models moving in preordained patterns on the monitor, a first of its sort. The invention of the geometric design processor, an interactive graphic system for modeling three-dimensional objects, came as a blessing for a choreographer. Diana Petty of UCLA, USA, created a model of dancer by first photographing a series of computer-generated poses and then coordinating these images with music, lighting, and live choreography to produce an actual dance performance. At Tufts University, Alice Textler and Ronald Thornton, working with dance composition students, adapted a motion detector device used in its science laboratories to produce computer-generated graphs of movements, paths and patterns. Much later, robotics offered the most dramatic application of computer expertise to choreographic imagination and intent. Margos Apostolos, Stanford University, developed a body of work in robo-choreography that was so striking that it actually is acknowledged as a work of art in itself. Apostolos was thus able to demonstrate with conviction the computer's powerful ubiquity and its expressive potential. There does not exist a comprehensive language for human movement. It is also true that for many, such a language may not even be needed. Amongst the dance community, there is a tendency to indulge in loose descriptions of human movements and do not generally have the vocabulary or the discipline to describe it in precise terms. Though the need to record choreography for posterity has been recognized for many years by the dancers community, it is generally felt that the wide variety of notation systems developed to represent movements to do so at a very low level. The notation systems are elemental, complex in details, but lacking in structure, that is, in syntax. However, the vast experience garnered in working with notations has proved very valuable in developing an understanding of the needs for a higher level of language, such as that of technology. The notation system developed to describe or record dance movements have been by Benesch 1956, by Eshkol Wachman 1958 and by Rudolf Laban 1960. While Benesch was popular in the UK, Labanation was the preferred option in North America. As one of the most general notation system, Laban notation has been adopted by the least three computer based programs, one each at University of Pennsylvania, University of Waterloo and Simon Fraser University. The computer interpretation system analyzes the Laban notation commands and translates them into a list of angles which each body segment must achieve in space. This data is then translated into three-dimensional coordinates of each joint at each instant of time. The Laban notation model continues to be updated by later researchers. At the University of Pennsylvania, Norman Badler and his team have abstracted Laban notation properties into a set of 5 primitive movement concepts: directions, resolutions, facings, shapes and contacts, which are concerned only with the location and relation of body joints or surfaces in space. Directions generally describe positions to be achieved by both parts or directions in which the entire body is to move. Revolutions include rotations and twisted by given angles. Facing are goal directed rotations which require a body surface to achieve a desired orientation. A shape is either a path along which a body or body part moves, or a spatial shape, position or configuration which some part of the body is to achieve. Contacts are generally relationships such as touches, supports, contains, etc. between two or more bodies, body parts or environment points. While all the primitive shear motions of duration, fixed end and reference coordinate systems, they do not cover dynamic effects, force, acceleration, torque, etc. Muscular movements, that is bulges, contractions, etc. and the facial expressions. The Benesch notation system was invented by Rudolf and John Benesch in 1947 and based on the principles of visual perception. Frames specifying key body positions are read from left to right along each 5-line step, from the top of the page to the bottom. Musical tempo and the rhythm are indicated by the sign and text drawn in or above the step. Transition between salient positions are indicated virtually, though the use of movement lines, body orientation and travel are represented as seen by signs drawn below the step. The Benesch movement notation is quite adaptable and has been used in dance, sports and physiotherapy. It offers an efficient means of creating, modifying, storing and retrieving scores of movement notation. A graphical editor for Benesch was developed called BED, which took a scope and generated animation of a figure performing the movements specified in the score. It provides an effective way of entering scores on a computer for easy storage, retrieval and editing. The preparation of dance scores is a tedious process and a computer can assist the notator in much the same way as a word processor assists in an office. BED's full potential is realized when used in conjunction with the interpreter. Such a combined system would be useful to both the choreographer and the teaching of Benesch, as well as for the production of master scores. In 1986, there was a collaborative project between the University of Waterloo Dance Group, Ontario, Canada and the Benesch Institute, London, in which 6 theory lessons on Benesch movement notation were produced on the Macintosh personal computer with output from the laser writing printer using a special application called NAC Benesch, an interactive graphic editor for the computerized preparation of Benesch scores. This was a major breakthrough in the preparation of an updated theoretical information on the constantly evolving Benesch movement notation system, as a manually produced material takes months, even years to prepare. The Mac-Benesch program's long-term goal is to produce a program that can easily be used to generate notation scored by notators with little or no computer experience. The Mac-Benesch program comprises menus which organizes Benesch signs into easily accessible families, allowing the notator to quickly call up the design sign or composite sign and accurately position it on the notation step. An infinite number of movement lines can be interactively created and edited. Signs can easily be deleted or moved. Frames and series of frames can be cleared, deleted, saved or moved. Thus, editing scores can be done efficiently with considerable saving in man-hours. Robo-choreography. Robo-choreography developed from the research undertaken to examine the aesthetic elements of robotic movement based on a choreographic approach. A combined effort works to integrate the sounds of music, the form of sculpture and the motion of dance. The process of choreographing for robotic arm combines a logical approach with a sensuous approach in a blend of artistic and scientific creativity. One way of interpreting robotic choreography is the idea of dehumanizing dance as explored by dancer Alvin Nicolai. His dancers moved in a mechanical way, stripped of their human identity through technical effects. The challenges here is to be able to devise a universal movement notation system to assist in programming robo movements as a salient feature in robo choreography. The impact of a collaboration between art and technology is pronounced in this era of advanced technology. The development of computer music, computer graphics and robo choreographics reflect this technology's influence. This increased assimilation of robotics in everyday life will increase user acceptance and ease of user machine interface. The technology embodied in the motion detector also has an important and interesting role to play in dance technology. The motion detector is an instrument that sends out short pulses of high frequency sound far above the range of human hearing and detects the echo just like a bat does. A microcomputer is used to measure the time between the transmission and receiving pulse, and then to calculate the position, velocity and acceleration of the object causing the reflection. Any of all these quantities can be graphed simultaneously on the computer monitor. The detector senses the nearest object in roughly 30 degree cone and measures the motion along a line connecting the motion detector and the object. The motion detectors are generally connected to Apple computers, which are more design friendly than other computers. The motion detector has been used as learning tool by dance composition students of Tufts University. The principles on which the motion detectors work is the fact that the movement and stillness are the very core of the choreography. With motion detector, the technology is used as an integral part of the performance during the performance. A unique aspect of such a performance is that both the dancers as the artistic agents and the new technology simultaneously create a non-utilitarian experience that has the potential for enjoyment, for the increase of the audience's perceptual abilities. The collaboration between the scientist, physicist and the dance professionals has resulted in a creative process and a specific concept of performance in which the dancers have exercised complex mental transformation in order to perform. This is possible because the motion detector becomes an essential part of the performance whose role cannot be duplicated or replaced. With the help of computers, one can capture, process and display still photographic and video images of dancers. The capturing and, if needed, manipulation of photographic and videographic images involve a fairly standard digitization process. Once digitized, the image can be stored indefinitely in the computer and, more significantly, can be recalled in its original form. Or it can undergo innumerable alterations by simply making changes in the digital values. The effect of digital processing on the visual quality of dance images is technically and artistically intriguing. Experiments have shown that the integration of dance and computer technology will change the face and perception of dance as an art form. The system has produced a great venture into artificial reality, even known in the field of dance. Combined with the latest information processing theories, the computer-aided process for expressing and communicating the art of dance promises to impose a major landmark in the history of dance. For dance, computer-controlled lighting system took a long time to be available to dancers and choreographers. But now, the relatively inexpensive personal computer or the laptop can easily handle some of the standard lighting tasks such as cues for house lights or floodlights and the cyclorama. In addition, computers can store production lighting records and inventories. As audiences demand technical proficiency in dance productions, whether from the dancers themselves or from the dance productions, special lighting effects and the subtleties which reflect this proficiency while enhancing the overall performance, as well as the experience of performance for the audience. Lighting establishes and sustains the mood of a dance. Dance producers and choreographers have to rely on lighting design to create the optimal conditions for a dance's message. The potential of lighting effects to create an impact on the overall performance is immense. One has only to attend a rock concert or a laser show to grasp this. But because there are limitless and relatively untapped possibilities due to computer technology, it is possible that lighting design may compete seriously with choreographic designers for visual dominance of the stage. But until that day dawns, stage lighting and stage dancing should work together towards the greatest possible artistic cooperation. A choreographer or an artistic director should already be able to demand a most exacting and innovative lighting designed to complement the dance performance. It is now a question of technology catching up with the ideas and demands of those in the dance field who can use it to enhance the dance form.